Hi, I'm Ashlee Marie, and it's the last week of the year, meaning it's the last week to eat whatever we want before we pretend that we're gonna eat healthy for a few days. Anyway, today I have some fried mac and cheese bites with some summer sausage for you. Ooey, gooey, fried. Doesn't get much better. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming recipes, and let's get started. Now, to make fried macaroni and cheese, the first thing that we need to do is make macaroni and cheese. Now, you can make your very favorite macaroni and cheese recipe. I have an entire video dedicated to all things macaroni and cheese. How to start the roux, turn it into a bechamel sauce, turn it into a mornay sauce. You can personalize it with any cheese that you want. I love making from scratch macaroni and cheese because one, it's super easy. It doesn't take any longer than a box mix, and you can personalize the flavor so much. So either way, no matter what you do, first thing we need to do is make the macaroni and cheese according to your normal directions. I'm actually making this macaroni and cheese a little bit different than my last batch of macaroni and cheese. I'm adding some ground nutmeg and some ground mustard to my spices, along with, of course, salt and pepper. And I'm changing up the kind of cheese that I'm using. I'm using some sharp cheddar and some smoked cheddar. I feel like that flavor will go really nicely with the sausage that we're also gonna add to this. Now we're gonna add the sauce to our cooked macaroni. Now, if you're trying to feed a family and you want to make these fried macaroni and cheese bites out of leftovers, go ahead and eat dinner. But if you're making your macaroni purely to make this fried macaroni, we are going to move on. So, now regular macaroni and cheese is great and delicious, but I want my bites to be a little bit more melty, ooey gooey. So what we're gonna do is add some more cheese. So I'm adding about another 8 ounces of cheese to the pound that we already put in the sauce. Now I took a summer sausage and I chopped it up into bite-sized bits, and we're gonna also add this to our macaroni. You're gonna pour it into a 9x13 pan that you've lined with some parchment paper. It'll make it easier to pull out later. And you wanna flatten it out, and we're gonna put it in the freezer now. Or you can refrigerate it and then we'll have to freeze it later. It kind of depends on if you want to create balls or if you're looking for another shape. Now, if you're just gonna cut shapes out of it, you can put it right in the freezer. If you're gonna scoop it up and roll it up into balls, you're gonna wanna just refrigerate it, and then the next day after rolling it up, then you're gonna wanna freeze it. Personally, that's one step too many. So I'm just gonna cut mine. Now we have all of these little triangles, and we're ready to coat them. I have 3 cups of Japanese panko breadcrumbs. I have some salt and some pepper. Now we're gonna stir that up. You can also add some kind of spice into this if you want. Since I already spiced my macaroni and cheese and we have that flavored sausage in there, I'm not gonna spice the breadcrumbs any more than this. And I'm gonna take 2 eggs and beat them with a fork. So now we're gonna take our macaroni and cheese triangle and dip it in the egg. Shake off the excess and then put it in the breadcrumbs. Now, if you want a really hard coating, you can actually dip it a second time. This will have you go through more eggs and more coating, but it will give you a much thicker coating. So it kind of depends on if you like that kind of thing or not. And then just repeat. And now that they're covered in breadcrumbs, it is time to fry them. So you want to fry them in hot oil that's at 350 degrees. Now, I have a fryer, but you don't have to have a fryer to do this. You can do this over the stove. You just want to have a good thermometer that's so that you can see and make sure that your oil is up to temperature. Every time you finish a batch, I'll usually let the fryer rest for a minute to bring it back up to temperature, because usually frying things, it brings the temperature down a little bit. And you're gonna fry these for about, ooh, perfect, 2.5 minutes. And there you have it. That wasn't so hard, right? I enjoy feeding my family homemade macaroni and cheese about once a week. So if there's any leftovers, this is an easy thing that the next day I can just fry up. I just use the stovetop if I'm just doing a couple, and it's a fun after school snack. Now, I enjoy making the entire batch of this into the mac and cheese bites for like a party or game days. It's a great appetizer. New Year's party, maybe. They're finished. Let's give them a try. Oh, look at that ooey gooey mess. Yummy. So good. I love the addition of the sausage and kind of add a little bit of depth to it. And I love the smoked cheddar, such a great addition. I took about 3 tablespoons of the sauce before I mixed it in with the noodles, and I saved it over on the side for some dipping. Just to give it a little bit of that extra gooey cheese at the end, but they don't need it. They're totally great by themselves. But you know me. If I can go for more ooey, more gooey, more cheesy, I'm gonna. So if you love fried food, don't forget to give me a thumbs up for this video. And in the comments down below, I would love to hear from you. What's your favorite hors d'oeuvre? What do you like to bring to parties? What do you like to eat at parties, even if you don't bring it? I love finger foods. I tend to be the one asked to bring dessert, but I really love it when I'm able to bring more savory foods like this. This is definitely a favorite. It's hard to go wrong with fried cheese of any form and pasta. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a happy New Year's and thanks for watching.